Let's jump in and have a look at the Freshwater Trout and Redfin box for June. Okay, so if you are unaware, it is currently closed season for trout fishing, but there's still plenty of options with the Redfin. There are some exemptions to the closed trout fishing in a few stocked areas, so make sure that before you head out, you do check the rules and regulations for the areas you plan to fish. Let's jump in and have a look first at the 2 plastic options included in this box. So we have included 2 lots of paddle baits. One is the Chase Baits paddle bait in the 3-inch, and the other one is the Power Bait Bottom Shad in the 3-inch. Now, if you're like me and have 2 different colors here, whichever one you have, which is a darker color, which in my case is the Chase Baits, I'm gonna be throwing this one in dirtier or stained waters. The clearer or more natural colored one, you're gonna be using this in cleaner waters. I hope it gives you a few different options for chasing some redfin there. And with these, we've coupled this with some Berkeley Owner 1/2 ounce 2.0 Jig Heads. These are damn deep jig heads. It even says so on the back of the packet. But essentially the idea behind this is to get your soft plastics, either your Chase Baits or your Power Bait, down deep to some of those deep sitting or schooled up fish. Awesome little plastics to cast and retrieve. I'm just gonna be working these on a constant roll because that heavy jig head will hold the depth down there for you pretty well, so you don't really need to worry about adding too many pauses unless the fish are really shut down and sitting pretty damn tight to the bottom. Now next up, we have included 2 different hard body options. You've got your Rapala XR4 or XRAP 4, and then you've also got a Storm Vibe. Let's start off with the Rapala. Now obviously if you do have trout fisheries near you that are still open and legal for you to fish, this is going to be an awesome option for that. They're a shallow diving hard body, and they're also a suspending hard body. So this means that when you wind it down or twitch it down, it's neither going to float nor sink, it'll sit right in the middle. Now this can also be deadly on redfin. Redfin are highly territorial and will just about attack anything that comes in its territory. By pausing this or ripping this down and then pausing this in their zone, they're sure to have a go at it because you can just let it pause in their face. So even if they're not hungry, they'll probably attack it just out of being defensive and territorial over their area. Now the Gamoku Vibe, this is probably going to be your searching bait. Because it's a sinking lure, it allows you to cover a huge variance in the water column. You can let it sink down, fish it deep, fish it a bit faster in the mid column. Being a smaller, lighter profile, you can still fish it in shallow water as well. And being a vibe, you can also work it vertically like a jig. Now for me, this is probably going to be the first thing I tie on to try find fish. It allows you to pepper casts all over the place, fish different depths, just so you can locate where those active fish are going to be. Now if you find those active fish or you have a sounder and you find some schooled up, it's going to be a good option to start working it vertically and jigging and vibrating this through the schools. Now if they're not really going for a vertical presentation of a hard body like this little Gamoku Vibe, then we've included a metal spoon or a jig. So this is the Pontoon 21 Paco spoon. So these things are a great option for vertically jigging, especially if you find some good schooled up fish. Just drop it down, this thing will just flutter like a falling bait fish, and you just slowly lift and drop, lift and drop. I'll do that a few times, and then maybe wind up a bit, lift and drop, just so you're jigging the bottom part, then you wind up a bit, and then you're jigging a little bit shallower, and you can work your way up and try to find the active fish that way. They can also be fished on a cast and retrieve. If this is the case, I will do a long cast out, and these things cast a mile. Let it sink to the bottom, and you can either wind it, but what I like to do is just a high lift of the rod, just to bring that spoon off the bottom. Pause and let that flutter back down again. Same thing, high lift of the rod, wind down and just let that flutter back down again. And that's it for the Trout and Redfin box this month. So you've got your 2 packs of soft plastics with the supplied jig heads, 2 hard bodies and your spoon. Hopefully covering all the bases for you guys fishing the Trout and Redfin this month. If you want to check out this box or any of the others in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au, pick a box that's right for you, and welcome to the club.